Alright, we're recording, which means welcome everybody who's going to be watching this video. We're going to be going over the new runes for patch 7.22 in the preseason 8. So we're definitely ready for a new type of playstyle coming out, and Riot has definitely made a lot of changes that are significantly impacting the game if you have been playing any games at all within the past few days, or you have been on the PvE. Welcoming me and for this video is Wombat and Honeyball.
Hi.
Hi guys, how are you guys doing?
Wombat and Honeyball are both professional coaches in Latin America, so we're all going to be doing some speculation on what the runes are going to be useful for. So we can go ahead and we can start with the precision tree.
The precision tree.
That sounds nice.
Which of the three keystones in the precision tree do you guys think is the number one?
Press the attack.
Definitely, for sure?
Definitely, for sure.
I think between press the attack and the lead footwork, it will be basically around what type of champion are you using, because like if you take a look at the fleet footwork and you go back a couple of years, like think about the top Hecarim with the Triforce, that shit will be insane, because basically if you cast your E and go just to like run over your target, you're going to hit like for 5, maybe 600 damage, taking into account the fact that they will have no defense, because there's no runes, like everyone just has no armor, and the energized attack heals you for a shit ton of HP, gives you 30% more movement speed for 1 second. That is, if I recall correctly, 30% more attack speed for that movement speed for Hecarim. It's like 40 or 50 extra AD. It's like an insane amount of damage for a breacher. So basically, I think every one of the 3 precision runes will have like some champions that can just fucking exploit the fact that you have that new ability, basically. But for the main role that it's supposed to go, that should be the marksman, I gotta go with you guys and press the attack. It's just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely press the attack has a lot of power. What were you about to say, Annabelle?
I do think the precision is a really fun tree, because it's the only tree that gives you the attack speed by ability. So there's a lot of champs that need attack speed to be useful, like on the jungle, on top lane, or any role, mostly marksmen, right? So press the attack is pretty good for marksman, because the 12% extra damage from the target that you hit with the 3 autos is really useful. In going with early champs and like bullies on lane, is a lot of abuse that you can do just with that rune. And I do think fleet footwork is probably the second best, because it's really flexible. There's a lot of roles that you can take fleet footwork and pull that off, because it's really useful for youngers that doesn't have like a really big sustain. It's good for top laners that need the sustain and the movement speed and can abuse the fact of the movement speed. And pretty much any champ that just need to hit an auto. And I think what Riot tried to do with Lethal Tempo was they had like a good idea. It's not a bad idea, but right now everything is so fast, and you need to go. If you go Lethal Tempo, you're accepting the fact that you will lose. Like if you go Lethal Tempo with any AD against an AD that goes with press the attack, you're losing lane. You're losing lane pretty much every time, because this spike you won't have it on the laning phase.
Yeah.
You're betting on late game.
And especially like with press the attack, it actually brings out a different meta from a lot of ADCs, such as Lucian. Like Lucian's actually returning into the meta with press the attack because you can you can auto someone and then double auto them, and then you Q them after after they're receiving plus 12% damage. And then you get even more autos off, and you're able to follow up with the combo, and you're actually able to burst people very easily out of lane. And not to be mentioned that Lulu or Lucian can be paired with other supports who are bully supports such as Lulu or Brand, and it provides for a very toxic and lethal laning phase with a lot of flexibility because of the amount of mobility that some of these ADCs have. So Lucian, with the mobility that he has, along with a Lulu or with even a Nami, can absolutely demolish a lane.
Yeah, I was talking about it with one of the ADs I'm working right now, and I was curious. I asked him to try something out because if I'm not wrong, the last change Riot made to the static shift proc, it counts as a on-hit effect. So if this actually applies to press the attack, you will only have to like Q and out attack once a target for Lucian to proc the passive. And that will be like fucking insane because you could go like 2 seasons ago Lucian with the Triforce and the static shift, and you will basically play as an assassin, just chasing people down, hitting them like for 1 billion hits.
I actually told a friend of mine to try Lucian with Trinity Force too, because of the higher AD base. Because I do think if you go in AD and you can build Triforce, it's just way too good.
Yeah, it's just really weird and something that will need to be like tested out because it can just be so oppressive, but at the same time it works in a really weird way because if you look at it, like the press the attack will technically work with Azir too because the attacks from the soldiers counts as auto attacks. And if with the recent change, you can get all the 3 soldiers to hit on like the same target. That will be the 3 auto attacks instantly, and that's just with you moving your soldiers once. It's just too dumb, just too fucking dumb.
Too much damage.
Okay. But, I can see definitely with Azir on press the attack. Or wait, actually, hold on. It says the press the attack says 3 consecutive basic attacks specifically, and I know for a fact that Azir's minion autos, like his sand soldiers, don't actually count as basic attacks.
Don't count as basic anymore.
They do not. Well, they do not proc Nashor's Tooth.
And they do not. They can't take down wards anymore.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. They should. They probably just changed the way it used to work because it will be like just way too strong in champions like that. But the other thing is, and like, is the thing I'm worried the most about the precision tree is the rune that basically anyone will be playing. Just the people that actually get like a grasp on understanding it and learning how to use it, the Little Temple. Because if you take a look at it, it says you'll get the 80% attack speed based on level for 3 seconds, but after 1.5 seconds of out attacking. So that basically tells you that rune will work extremely well with champions that want to take like short trades when they are being out-traded and then just go back into the fight. I'm thinking about champions like Xin Sao, Tryndamere, Trundle, even Yasuo or Irelia, that you want the enemy to in on you so you can just go back and trade the damage. And it sounds kind of insane because if you can, it will take down the attack speed limit, and if you have like one of these champions that has life steal on the kit, it will be basically you're recovering your entire health when 3 or 4 auto attacks on your target, which sounds kind of broken, but only if it actually managed to work. That's like the big issue I see with it. So that's why I think it's gonna be really annoying if people figure it out how to use it, because in the theory it would be extremely insane, but it sounds like it's going to be really hard to pull off.
Yeah, I can definitely see how lethal tempo would be insane on a champion like Aurelia, because then when you max out your W on Aurelia and you get 75% or 75 true damage per auto attack, getting a burst of of attack speed is going to severely increase your DPS.
That much.
And
Yeah.
and because it's 1.5 seconds after damaging a champion, it actually allows Aurelia to reach her initial win condition where she can auto someone, and then that person can continue to trade with Aurelia. And because Aurelia will then possibly be under the percentage health that her enemy has, because she's allowing the enemy to trade with her, she then can E the enemy, and she gets this burst of attack speed, and then she's able to follow up. Because her E only stuns when she's at a lower percentage of health than the enemy. Anyway, I do want to take a step back from lethal tempo and press the attack, because I want to talk about fleet footwork for a second, because I thought about it in my head just a little bit. And if you look at it, it says energized attacks heal you for 5 to 50 plus 0.1 bonus AD. And while we've only been considering, we've mostly been considering ADCs. Fleet footwork doesn't seem that good on an ADC, because at the max, you might have 200 bonus AD at the late game, which means you're only going to get 20 extra healing from Fleet of Footwork. So that's going to give you a total of 70. Whereas if I put this on an AP carry, who is going to be building a lot of AP, say 600, and it's going to take 20% of that, then that's 120 plus 50 base healing. And you're looking at actually a huge heal coming out for an AP carry. So what kind of AP carries can use Fleet of Footwork and abuse not only burst of healing, but movement speed?
Yeah.
And probably
Katarina. Basically, any assassin that wants to go in and out of the fight multiple times can just abuse this, because you have to run towards your target to get the stacks of movement speed, and then when you go for the auto, I'm thinking about these kind of champions that you don't go with the auto attack first, but instead you use your auto to reset your animations, like I said, Kassadin or Katarina, that you want to take some damage before you make your auto attack, because otherwise it will be useless, basically, because you will be healing when you're already at full HP. But if you go in, the enemy has to respond some way to the fact that you just went in on him. You take some damage, you auto the enemy, get the extra healing, and that sounds just extremely insane too. Basically any type of assassin that goes with AP but doesn't have point on click CC, because the fact that the thing with the TF is that if you go for the electrocute, when you just go with the yellow card, stun your target, and you will do a lot more damage. You won't need the sustain that Fleet Footwork will give you. But when you're something that doesn't have that ability to stun someone, it will be a lot more useful. That's why I'm thinking more into the kind of assassins that don't have the point and click CC ability. Maybe even Fizz, because it's the same thing.
Fizz can proc it easily. I don't think Katarina can proc it that easily because she doesn't auto that much. But maybe it will really a really
good Katarina will auto threat.
Yeah. Basically, since Katarina it used to be the, how is it called, the hex tech. You have to get used to auto attacking. It's the same thing with LeBlanc
and Cassiopeia.
Yeah. That sounds insane, actually.
So I'm seeing Fleet of Footwork. I'm thinking about Fleet of Footwork, Cassiopeia, Elise, Kennen,
Even Vladimir will
Vladimir. But hold on, get this one, Victor.
Yeah, you have to attack with, but that's the same issue that I'm seeing. Well, it's not an issue. The same point that I'm seeing with the fact that champions that can burst someone so hard will actually be way better with the electrocute because it will do a fuck ton of damage.
Yeah, I can see that, but
I do feel like
I think that some champions can benefit from the movement speed and the healing because they wanna play in extended fights. More specifically, Cassiopeia, Ari, Victor, and possibly Kennen.
But you're preferring to go with the attack speed buff instead of the flat AP because you're going with precision.
Yeah. I guess it's still like...
it's a really big bet. Like, if you're going with the attack speed, it won't be useful at all.
Yeah, no, but it actually makes more sense if you're in a lane matchup that you won't win that hard because the sustain will help you to like stay alive through the lane phase, and that's something that it actually will make champions like Cyrus was just mentioning about the Ari, the Victor, that are good at lane but can be oppressed down by some other champions that will help them to get through the lane phase and make it alive to that point of the game where they can just go and burst people.
And think about this, while you are missing out on some other very important spells like Shock, or that Shock Blast or whatever the hell, the 0.3 AP, the new Thunderlords, I'm looking at this pathway right now for these what I call low cooldown kite mages. Because especially for someone like Ari, if you take Fleet Footwork and then you take Presence of Mind, and you take Coup de Grace, you're definitely looking at a very like, oh, I'm gonna play extended fights. I'm gonna skirmish. I'm gonna skirmish a lot. And because I have low cooldowns, I'm going to abuse that, and I'm going to abuse all this movement speed that I'm going to be getting. And while there isn't a there's one in the second tier of precision that is probably very good. There isn't a great option, but you can take permanent tenacity per takedown.
I was looking,
which is always good.
Yeah, that way you don't have to be like mercs and you can go for the sorcerer shoes and have the extra magic hand.
Yeah. So, wrong tab. Yeah, especially on some like people like Cassiopeia and Victor and Ari who are going to be moving around a lot just because Ari has her dashes, Victor has his speed ups, and Cassiopeia has her speed ups. And they're always going to be moving around and using this fleet of footwork and getting these energized stacks. And especially with this second thing in Precision Tree, for 5 seconds after getting a takedown, any mana you spend is fully restored. If you can go into a team fight with low mana, and as long as you can burst a kill, which is something you want to be doing on one of these very very heavy mages, then you're able to spam spells for the team fight. And as long as you get assists, you are able to continue to fight. And you can walk into a fight with 200 mana, even though your mana pool goes all the way up to 900, and you walk out with 200 mana. Which is an insane game-changing thing, because a lot of the time when we think, we're dancing around Baron, but the enemy mid laner has run out of mana, or they have really low mana, so maybe now is the time that we want to force a fight. That may not always be the case anymore. If you take Fleet of Footwork, that mid laner is always going to be useful.
Yeah, and if you're going for that tree that you're building right now, like the precision with the Fleet Footwork, and you do take like the sorcery maybe, or I guess sorcery or domination. I think sorcery will be the strongest one.
I mean, well, no, even inspiration works.
Yeah, if you're playing something
stopwatch.
But I don't think so. If you're going Fleet Footwork and you're just going with no stats. You're going no stats to the laning phase. You're betting on the fact that
Hold on.
You're betting.
Yo,
You're betting on the fact that you're going with some sustain, and you're betting on no stats. You won't have AP. You won't have anything. So your wave clear will be probably nothing. And will be really bad, like really bad. So you're doing a bad laning phase to keep going with the fit footwork and the sustain that it will give you. So I think the only way that you can use that in a useful way, the fit footwork and the fact that you're going with no stats, is probably going in sorcery with absolute focus. Because absolute focus gives you a shit ton of raw stats, and if you can keep with more health than 70%, you will keep those stats.
Absolute focus?
Yeah.
In sorcery?
Yeah. If you go fit footwork and second tree sorcery with absolute focus, you have the stats.
What is where's oh, while above 70% health, gain extra adaptive damage.
Yeah.
I could see that working, because then with the heals that you're getting from footwork, you always try to stay above that 70 health mark, and
you actually have wave clear to keep it up.
But
and then you can take Gathering Storm.
You can take Gathering Storm.
I think if you're going for something that will give you more stats on the large, like in the long run, it will be better to just go with Celerity and Gathering Storm, because you will have a shit ton of movement speed anyway, and Celerity will give you adaptive based stats on your movement speed anyway.
But you will only gain movements. You will only gain those extra AP or AD when footwork procs.
Yeah, well, that's basically the whole point, that you will play around the fleet footwork in the team fighting.
But I don't think it's easy.
Yeah, but if I took Celerity, then I'd want to take Ultimate Hat, and I don't think that combo is quite the best combo, because Gathering, if we're not going to go with stats like he was talking about, then we're probably going to want Gathering Storm, because it's going to be very important, because it's going to give us 140 AP towards the 60 minute mark, but it's still going to give us what, 60 to 70 around the 30-minute mark.
Yeah,
that's a whole item. So it definitely makes up for the fact that you're not taking damage immediately in the early game. But as for if you are taking Gathering Storm, you could still take Celerity, you could still take Absolute Focus. Transcendence would be good depending on what you plan on building. So if you know if you know your matchup and you're making your runes right before you go into game, you are able to identify, am I going to build 40% CDR, or am I going to build at least 30% and get blue buff, because I'm probably the mid laner. Then maybe I don't need Transcendence, but if I do take Transcendence anyway, the extra CDR becomes AP. But I don't know if I would want that compared to Ultimate Hat, whereas I could take Ultimate Hat on someone like Ahri, and then my ult's up every 30 seconds. And I can roam every 30 seconds in the mid game.
Yeah, that's why, like, the background thinking I'm doing right now is the fact that if you're going for runes like this, taking the ultimate hat and the Gathering Storm, you are basically saying that you won't build anything that is not AP based. Like, you are going for sorcerer shoes, like you're going for Luden Seco, the Ravenous Death Cap, Void Staff. Like, you're just going to build raw AP, because you have tenacity on your rune set. You have like the sustain that Fleet Footwork will give you. You have extra movement speed. You will have something that will give you cooldown reduction with the ultimate hat. Like, there's no reason for you to build anything else than just raw AP, raw damage.
I do have a different pathway that I just discovered. So say for a champion like Ahri, let me see if there's any other viable champions that work in this spot. Um, Rise might work with this as well, technically.
I think.
But it's with after taking our precision tree, sudden impact on Ari, gain a burst of magic penetration after using a dash, and she's got 4, and Ravenous Hunter. So if you are playing mid-game Ari, which is Ari's individual win condition, and you get a unique takedown on everyone on the enemy team, you get permanent spell vamp. And you're going to have sudden impact, so you're going to be bursting people really hard.
Yeah, I can see this, but working way better and being even close to broken if you're playing Echo. Because you have a shit ton of sustain. Echo actually use the extra attack speed, and you'll have extremely low cooldowns, because with Echo you can go for like the regular build path, just dropping the mercs because you have tenacity on the rune tree, but you can go for the sorcerer shoes, or if you want the like you said, like win the game in 20-25 minutes, you can go for the CDR boots for the lucidity boots, so you can get like the 40% cooldown reduction in like 18, maybe 20 minutes, and it's just insane. When UE is level 5 and you have 40% cooldown, you use it every 4 or 5 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, and that will be still so freaking strong.
Yeah, I do think you can take the tenacity rune and go with mercs and be even more annoying.
Yeah, I was thinking about bruisers and tanks like Renekton, who actually ran precision legend tenacity, and took. There's another. Where is it? It's in one of the other trees where you can get reduced tenacity, and you could actually get like 80% tenacity if you got Merc Treads and Legend Tenacity and getting takedowns and having this other tenacity rune. I have to find it really quick.
The other tenacity rune, I think, is unflinching from Resolve.
Yes, it is unflinching.
But you need to waste your summoner spells.
Yeah, but think about playing an aggressive bruiser who always wants to play aggressive anyway, like Renekton. Let me go.
You go in and
on the screen right now.
You probably go in after throwing TP and just flash with your E and auto, and you have a shit ton of tenacity.
You could take with Renekton. You could take press the attack, which your W would proc immediately. By the way, if you had 50. If you had 50, so let me just write Renekton on the screen here, because this is an insane broken. Just imagining this makes me cry a little bit inside.
I do think Fleet Footwork is pretty good with a lot of AP champs, but at the end of the day, there's like too many good trees that you can go with them. If they can't go with Electrocute,
I think that I'm not saying that Fleet of Footwork is better. I'm saying that it's good for those. I think it's good for those mid-game casters that are looking to skirmish a lot, and they're always looking to be running around and kiting. So I think that Ari might actually be viable.
You know what champion will have a lot of fun playing as an AP carry with Fleet, and it's freaking insane, but it will actually work really great if you play Teemo. If you play Teemo with Blade Footwork, that shit will be insane, dude.
Oh, jeez.
It's not my fault. Riot did it.
I actually saw a Teemo with Glacial Augment. That actually is bullying. That's not like playing a game. The enemy player won't do anything at all. You will be slow the whole day. And the Teemo even went with Hextech Gunblade.
Yeah, definitely.
That was so. Yeah, oh my god.
And I think there's one more champion that we are forgetting that could actually use and abuse the Fleet of Footwork. It will be Kayle.
Yes, I thought about her earlier, but I'm a little confused as to what her second rune would be. Hold on.
Yeah,
I do think like if you're in a good matchup, you can just go with Lethal. little tempo.
Kale
But
can
if
definitely
you're
take overheal too.
yeah, but and she can go with footwork and overheal. She's pretty good.
Yeah, and she can
might
take
be-
Alacrity for permanent attack speed.
Yeah.
And you can take either Coup de Grace. Honestly, you could Last Stand on Kale because you're going to use your ultimate. You're going to be fucking invincible. You're going to be doing so much damage when you have your ultimate on yourself and you have a lot of attack speed because it's late game.
Yeah.
So Kale could be even more menacing than she already is.
Also, if you go with like the take domination as your second rune and go for chip shot, that will if you kill someone. If I'm not mistaken, when you kill someone, you'll get like to auto them 4 times. So you will be hitting 4 times with 3 damage. That's freaking.
That's like
stupid.
120 true damage.
Yeah, that's
Because it's
freaking
like 30
stupid.
true damage per thing. And then you could take Zombie Ward or something. I mean, Eyeball Collection would work. Zombie Ward would work.
I really like Eyeball Collection. Pretty
Yeah,
good.
Eyeball
You're
Collection's
going
really good. It's just Domination has so many good secondary runes.
Yeah.
Also, I guess you have to check it out, but I'm not sure if Kale's out attacks when she turns on the E, it counts as out attacks or ability damage. Because if it goes for ability damage, you can just take Ravenous Hunter, and that will be like 1,000,000,000 healing every time you're out attacking.
It actually counts as both.
Yeah, that's freaking insane then,
Um,
because you can go for Ravenous Hunter, and you will be like life stealing even if you don't build any life steal at all.
Yeah. Because it counts as both because it is an auto attack and you are hitting people with your AD auto attack damage. But you're also dealing ability damage, which is an on hit effect of your auto attacks. That your E is just an on hit effect, which is very unlike say Azir, who auto attacks with his minions. But his minions do not apply auto on hit effects because they're not his auto attacks.
Yeah, I guess the only thing you will have to worry about is the fact that if you're going for the last stand and using your ultimate, it's not worth to go Ravenous Hunter because you will heal all the damage that you want to take to do a lot more damage with the last stand. It's basically you deciding if you want to lifesteal a shit ton or if you just want to get low and hit everyone with 1,000,000,000 damage because you're low.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's actually kind of weird the fact that Kale might get back into the meta because she counters basically any assassin that will be really strong right now.
Yeah,
And
anyone who's taking Electrocute, like Zed or something.
Yeah. And even Dark Harvest Younglers, she will
Yeah.
be really good against them.
All right.
yeah, that's actually quite insane.
All right. Let's I think we have one last thing to talk about between Press the Attack and Lethal Tempo before we can move on to the next keystones.
Oh yeah, I did my research already, and just to like I wanted to be completely sure that what I was saying made sense, and yeah, it actually made a lot of sense. If you're playing Irelia with little tempo, you're actually playing like if you get 3 points on your Equilibrium Strike, it will stand for 1.5 seconds. So you basically let
Oh,
the
that's
enemy
pretty good.
comes to you, hit you, you eat them, and then you have like the 1.5 seconds that the rune needs to kick in. You won't be taking any more damage. So when he goes back to not being stunned and he can actually hit you back, you already have the extra attack speed. That's insane.
Yeah, and you can take. I guess you can take Triumph or Overheal. Triumph would be good for tower diving, because Aurelia is very good at like being a lane bully. And Overheal would be good for extended fights, or like if you're ahead already, you get a lot of healing from your W actually.
Yeah,
Like,
and you can bully in lane really easily.
Yeah, I think you have to basically
and then you get Alacrity.
playing ahead the game, because if you're going to build lifesteal on your build path, you don't have to take the overheal. But if you want to like build some type of glass cannon area, the way that I don't recall who did, but played in the NALCS that went just full damage Irelia,
Mhm.
you can go for the for the overheal, like you said.
Yeah.
And that will be like basically having the lifesteal that you didn't build in your items.
Or even thinking Triumph if you're going that ham.
Yeah, if you're in a winning lane, like if you're Aurelia versus Poppy or Aurelia versus like Mundo or something dumb that's gonna lose early, you can take Triumph and just shit all over them.
Yeah, basically you can go for Triumph, and in the legend you get Bloodline, and that will give you the sustainability, and you just build 1 billion damage again.
Anyway.
And going tenacity with Aurelia is fucking crazy.
I had one last thing to say about precision in general. Between lethal tempo and press the attack, there's obviously like this discrepancy between like individual win conditions of which champion you're talking about. And I'm really confused about one champion in particular. What's better on Kalista? Lethal tempo or press the attack?
Press the attack. I will go with press the attack for sure.
I don't know, man. I think it's kind of hard because you can base your rune selection in what type of support you will have in your lane. Because if you have like this support that is like some melee champion, maybe Braum or Alistar or even a Taric, you can just go for the little tempo because your support will make the time for you to the extra attack speed to kick in. But if you wanted to like go for the type of mage as a support, it's way better to just go with the press the attack, and you can just literally press the attack on your lane.
Yeah, I was thinking though, Kalista, lethal tempo, Leona support.
Yeah, something like that.
If you auto and you get that extra attack speed, no one can run away from you in level 2. Because you have so much attack speed that you are jumping faster than people can run away from you.
Yeah, and also
to jump faster, you need movement speed.
Yeah, but you don't have boots, and neither does the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will just be like kiting right to the enemy instead of running away from them.
Yeah.
I actually think the little tempo ain't that good with Kalista because press the attack is just way too good when you're boiling in a lane, and especially in early game, because Kalista is played as a bully, not as anything else, because she's pretty strong on the laning phase. Yeah, and most of your trades are like going with press the attack, are going like putting a stack on one minion and throwing an out attack to the enemy and just keeping that up until the moment that you just can't go on them. And with your support, any support, I'm thinking about like all the possibilities, and I do think press the attack will be a lot more useful for you on the laning phase. And even fleet footwork will be really good because you get that movement speed and you can jump actually faster.
See, I think there's a certain amount of math that's involved with Kalista because it's not quite easily apparent because of Kallista's E. On Rend, you want to have a lot of Rend stacks in your target, and more attack speed will give you a lot more Rend stacks in your target, possibly 4 or 5. But press the attack will make it when you do have Rend stacks in your opponent, you will actually rip them and they will do 12% more damage than they would normally do. So at what point, at what attack speed from lethal tempo will you get more Rend stacks, which will cause more damage from your Rend rip, than press the attack will give to you just naturally?
Yeah, I guess you have to like do the math, but
you have to add in the press the attack initial damage as well.
Yeah, and the fact that press the attack give you your support extra damage to them and ignite too.
The thing I see like we're missing here right now is the fact that Kalista won't be a lane bully anymore, because the thing that made Kalista a lane bully was the fact that anyone was able to output that much damage per second in the early laning phase. But that's not a reality anymore, because if she's going against another ADC that it's running press the attack, she won't be able to outtrade them. Like Caitlyn will outtrade you, Lucian will outtrade you, even I think even Ezreal will outtrade you because they all have faster ways to proc the press the attack passive, and you will be taking all that extra 12 damage from all sources. So you won't be a lane bully anymore.
Yeah, but I don't think Kalista will be good. I don't think Kalista will be good against any of those champs with any rune. Even in the meta that Kalista is really strong and she can actually bully a lane is when Hailing isn't that strong, when Lucian ain't that good.
But I'm also not particularly too worried about the laning phase because Kalista provides something that most champions in the game don't, and that's an execute on Baron.
Oh yeah, she's pretty strong in that.
Because if you can execute Dragon and Baron because you started Dragon or Baron from 1500 health, no one can outsmite you. Not even Shogoth can steal that with 100% precision.
But it doesn't matter because all the precision runes proc again hitting champions. No, it doesn't matter if you're hitting a...
But I'm saying that Kalista will always be a strong pick.
Oh yeah, she will always be.
But that's the point. Like if you're thinking outside the lane phase, I think the best rune that you can take with Kalista right now would be Fleet Footwork, because you need the healing. Because Kalista has no way to like stay alive if someone just go on top of her. And everything right now does like 1 billion damage, so you need the sustain. It's the only way that you will be able to stay alive, because you can go for press the attack, and the time that takes you to auto someone 3 times, they already burst you down.
And even though if she goes that route to stay alive on the landing phase, she won't be able to outscale anything, because all the champs that are playing right now are going like Triforce or Crit, and she's not a crit champ. She needs to go for the attack speed for the Borg.
I think the only way that Kalista should be played right now is with Fleet Footwork. I don't see press the attack actually being worth, because you won't be a lane bully anymore. You will be bullied out of lane by basically anyone. Even Vayne can bully you out of lane.
Vayne with press the attack is pretty good too.
Vayne is just weird right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like basically any champion right now on the bot lane, any ADC will bully Kalista out of lane if she goes for a 1v1 trade, because she doesn't have the abilities to proc the rune as fast as any other champion. Like if you take any ADC at level 3, they will have at least 2 abilities to proc the rune faster than you. You have to auto them, and you have no attack speed at level 1. Well, I mean at level 3. Unless you like buy a dagger as your first item, you have no attack speed at all.
Alright. We've been talking a long time about the precision tree. I think we need to move on.
Just too good.
It's just too good. It's just too good. The precision tree has keystones that are absolutely
I think you will need to do I think you will need to do like 5 videos.
Yeah. No, we're gonna aim for about 2 hours, and we spent about 40 minutes talking about the precision. But because the precision tree is the strongest, we've allotted a good amount of time to it. So we're going to go ahead and move on and talk about, let's Electrocute, Predator, and Dark Harvest. So Electrocute's obviously just Thunderlords.
Better Thunderlords.
It is better Thunderlords because its cooldown is much longer than Thunderlords, but in the early game at least. However, it does adaptive damage, meaning it could do physical damage or magical damage, whereas before it was only one type. It was only magical damage before, I believe. So that damage allows it to be a little bit precise to the champion that you're playing, rather than an overall something that can be measured. As for Predator, channel for 1.5 seconds out of combat to give 45% movement speed for 15 seconds. Rengar? Question mark? Or what else? Hecarim. Absolutely Hecarim. Hecarim is definitely like the strongest person on this patch, just because of this rune.
With the Predator one?
Kind of. He's good with Predator, but he ain't like such a good jungler.
Yeah, I think if you're going to play Hecarim as a jungler, I think Fleet Footwork will be still better than Predator. Because because you're going we're talking about a Hecarim that will go with Triforce, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
That means you will get a lot more benefits from going with Fleet Footwork, basically. Because if you're going for the instant burst damage with Predator, you will either kill someone with one hit or you just died. But if you go with the Fleet Footwork, you have more sustain. So if you can do the thing that Hecarims like to do, like go in, and if you don't kill someone, you stay in and keep hitting people.
I don't see that as Hecarim, because I'm seeing like a burst Hecarim. Remember season 5? Hecarim was really strong because he would teleport home guards with Ghost. In the top lane. And he would run onto people with 1,000 movement speed and hit the 80 carry, and 80% of their health disappears. And he was still tanky. He was a bruiser. He built like 2 tank items. Whereas with this Predator here, not only are you getting 45% movement speed, which is more than Ghost. Remember, Ghost was 27% movement speed and 35% movement speed if you had a mastery that made Ghost better. That it was not the old masteries for anybody watching the video. That was masteries before the masteries we were just playing with.
That was season 5 thing.
That was a very interesting play style, but you took that mastery and it made you very strong. But now this is 45% movement speed, and you can take Ghost on top of that, and it deals bonus damage anyway. And it's 60 to 140, and it's 0.4 bonus AD. So with Triforce and with Warrior, maybe, or maybe you're going to go Cinderhulk anyway. So maybe Triforce into Yumu's or something, and you can still one-hit carries.
If you want to do that, you should go for Triforce and Deathman Plate. That will be
yes, absolutely. Triforce and Deadman's Plate you can definitely breach 1,000 movement speed. Let's go. I'll go ahead and take a look at what.
Suddenly, it comes to my mind Olaf with Predator. Oh Jesus Christ!
You can take sudden impact on Hecarim too, because you use your E and then you ult onto people, which is a dash. So then you gain that burst of penetration before you burst them with your initial auto attack, where you have 1,000 movement speed.
I don't think if you're going with him, you need to go domination.
I think what the type of Hecarim we're talking right now is not a jungle Hecarim. Will be a top lane Hecarim, because if you go for such an aggressive path on a jungle Hecarim and the enemy picks you a bully, you will die in your jungle at least 1 billion times, because you have no way to stay alive in your jungle.
Yeah, I can see that. But definitely Domination, Hecarim, Predator, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, and Relentless Hunter, permanent out-of-combat movement speed. You're definitely looking at the return of home run Hecarim. So
that's what I was thinking. Playing top lane Hecarim, just staying alive in your lane, and then just TPing behind everyone and literally kick everyone's ass. Because in the jungle right now, every jungle bully that went out of meta because of the way the tanks were building and the easier clear they had, is just not as impactful anymore, because they can go for this kind of insane rune sets that will give you 1 billion execute damage, and everyone will be just dead basically if you find them in the jungle. Think you're this little horsey innocent Hecarim walking around your jungle, and you find a Elise or a Rengar or even a Kha'Zix. There's no way you're surviving that. You're just dead. Just dead.
Absolutely. And actually, I just realized something. If you go Resolve after Domination, you can take Unflinching. which if you Ghost, you also receive an extra movement speed buff for a short period of time. So your Ghost is improved. So you that old Ghost mechanic where you used to get 35%, it's going to be about the same. So you get extra Ghost, and then you get Tenacity and slow resistance.
Jesus.
That's basically if you go for, like you said, domination with resolves, you go for unflinching and second wind, and you just wait,
Second wind.
like use both of your summoner spells, like TP and Ghost behind the enemy line. With the unflinching, they won't stop you, but you will still get like receive damage
Are you
because you
sure?
take the damage, and the second wind will just keep healing you with your W. That should be like a billion healing for.
How much healing does second wind actually do?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't like
Because
that.
I feel like
that rune.
overgrowth, if you're gonna play Hecarim top lane, might be better.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's basically Hecarim with Science passive. That
Or
makes a lot
conditioning.
more sense, basically. No, I think Overgrow will be just better
Good.
because you're going a lane Hecarim, so you will be killing a billion minions in the lane phase. That's actually just insane. I didn't
do-
actually realize that it was basically Scion passive on a rune.
Yeah,
Just-
no,
just
I've
make-
already thought about Scion support with overgrowth.
I really tried.
Or no, Scion
I
top
really
lane
tried.
with overgrowth, and it's
yeah,
like
you
it's so funny.
Yeah, I actually love the domination and sorcery tree because those are the only one trees that give you raw stats like attack damage or ability power.
Hmm.
The other trees like inspiration actually makes you two stats. That's pretty good. And but the keystones are kind of weird, right?
Yeah,
And the inspiration tree is pretty decent because you can mix those, but precision gives you raw attack speed. So if you're not a champ that can abuse the raw attack speed, it won't be that good because raw stats right now are really strong.
yeah.
yeah.
Even though
At
most of
least
the champs get like 9 armor because of the runes and everything removal, they didn't gave them like MR. And even though back in the last season they gave every champ scaling MR again,
Hmm.
it ain't that useful
Right.
because the amount of AP that you receive, it will always be more than the AD that you receive. So AP mages or AP assassins are just insane, and any champ that can abuse raw stats is just way too good, just way too good.
yeah.
And
I think that all the changes to the fact that no one has raw stats will change the fact that the early game is playing because going for a Doran item won't be as worth anymore. Because if you can just like you said, you're going in a bad matchup against a mage that will just scale a shit ton of AP. You can just buy like a null magic mantle at level 1 just to stay alive in lane.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
if you die, you're gone. Yeah, you lost the
Yeah.
game. You lose the laning phase.
I mean,
Yeah,
you could always consider corrupting potion still in the game, and we are seeing a lot more teleport mid lane come out because remember as the
I do think
huh.
there's a lot of like good answers for everything in the rooms. Like there's a lot of defensive options that are really strong. The shielding that you can get on sorcery, like nullifying orb, like
Yeah.
an early hex drinker, is really useful. And inspiration, the fact that you can get like the watch. I don't remember the name. The stopwatch.
Yeah.
Like start the game with stopwatch is insane too. And there's a lot. Pretty much, I feel like inspiration is a tree about responding, like going defensive. If
Yeah.
you're in a bad matchup, you go your good keystone, and then go with inspiration to be able to keep up on the laning phase or rush anything that you may need, because maybe you're going Akali and you're going in a bad matchup, let's say against something like Seth probably, and he can burst you down level 6 with his ultimate, and there's no way that you can escape. So you go with stopwatch and futures market, and you when he gets level 6, you just use your stopwatch and you don't get fucked, and you can rush your hectic
Orla?
combo with futures market. And
I don't
you're
know
right.
if Futures Market is going to be that good though.
I actually haven't tried it
It's
with
only
supports.
it's
It's
only
really
like
good.
200 gold. Well, with support, I could actually definitely see Futures Market on supports because with up
Yeah.
to like 250 gold, like that's the difference between you can buy control wards with that.
Yeah, you can actually go B on the first levels, like with 600 gold, and get your Saxon.
Yeah, and you can also you can do that, or in the first back,
Yeah.
or no, not the first back, but the first when you first buy items, you buy your support item, and then you can
Yeah.
buy 3 potions, and then you can
Yeah.
buy 2 control wards.
Yeah, Futures Market is actually pretty good for supports because they are actually they can
There's such
abuse
low
the fact
economy.
of yeah.
Yeah, the low economy. It's that.
Yeah, but now that we're talking about it and like the domination tree going with the inspiration one, what if like how do you guys feel about the fact that when you know you're going on a losing matchup, like you know you're going to be like having a really hard time in lane, you go for the minion dematerializer and you just wave clear the entire first wave.
Yeah. Wave Minion Dematerializer actually doesn't do that much.
Yeah, I actually tried it.
We have, Anibal and I have talked about Minion Dematerializer on Singed, and using all 6 of your Dematerializers on melee minions, and then you can push side lanes really, really easily, and then even if the enemy has Baron buff, you can destroy the melee minions with your poison. Because if you try to split up the Dematerializers between different types of minions, then it's not very useful. I did just notice that I wanted to backtrack just a second. Futures Market does not become available until the 2-minute mark, so you can only buy stuff on your first back. So what I was just saying about buying 2 control wards at the very beginning of the game, that cannot be done.
That's not a reality. That'd be broken.
I do want to.
The first back is really good.
Yeah, the first back I can imagine would be amazing because then you can buy your 2 control wards, or you can buy your Sightstone immediately.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do kind of want to focus on the keystones because well, Electrocute's just Thunderlords, and I was drawing an Oriana table in which I went Electrocute and then Cheap Shot. Which means it'll proc on your W. Cheap Shot will proc on your W after you use your ultimate. And then you take Eyeball Collection and you take wait, what? That's not right. What? Is that a glitch? No. Oh wait, I have the detailed comparisons on, so everything looked different. The Ingenious Hunter, so that when you get like Zonias and stuff, you're fine. And then you go Sorcery and you go Ultimate Hat and you take Absolute Focus. And that's Oriana. So your ultimate combo can literally just destroy people, and you gain so much AP over the game, and you have Cheap Shot, so you're actually adding true damage, a lot of it, into your combo that it can affect multiple people. But let's circle around to trying to discuss Electrocute, Predator, and Dark Harvest. We have avoided talking about Dark Harvest.
I actually really like Dark Harvest, but it's really weird.
I think it's only actually worth if you're playing like a mage support. It's the only way I can see it's actually worth on top of the like Electrocute, because the way it stacks basically.
What about Evelyn Jungle?
I do think it's good for youngers because you just have to pick the souls. You don't have to kill the cannons.
Yeah.
So it's really really good. Actually, that rune, if you have a good plan, you can stack it pretty easily, and you got the damage every time. You got the damage all the time.
But if you actually work with something like you were saying, like the Evelyn, maybe even the Elise, something that wants to like instantly burst someone.
Yeah, like Rengar too. You can actually go with that. I think it's better for ADs because it scales better with AD. So I think it's good with Ezreal and Kha'Zix and Rengar.
Dark Harvest?
So
no, the 80 junglers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in the case, but like the particular case of Rengar, I don't see it being better than Predator. Like it's just Predator will be way too much.
I think I agree with Wombat on that one.
Yeah, Prater will be better on Rengar for sure.
Um,
But I do think like the fact with Dark Harvest, I think he was just too strong on the PvE because they can stack it way too fast and you deal way too much damage.
I think Dark
And
Harvest is really good on AP. I carried I'm thinking right now Evelyn, and I'm trying to think of another champion. Oh, Elise.
But I do think
Elise.
you have to go. I think
Yeah.
it's for youngers, just for youngers.
Because it's
basically someone that actually benefit from both scaling AD and AP, and both Evelyn and Elise do that. Like either way, your item is getting the stats, it will do a lot of damage for you.
yeah, it definitely on anyone that can burst. Oh, you can also use it on Nidalee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nidalee.
basically that. Any champion that can do like hybrid damage will just abuse that.
Yeah, it'll be insane. Whoa. Actually, let me test that out. Oh shit! Cheap shot plus Dark Harvest on Evelyn.
That's just broken. You just
Yeah.
smoke people.
Yeah, you would like literally that, just one shot people.
And then
And
you
you
can
can
take.
and you can go for the relentless hunter. That I think is the only way it will be useful, because Evelyn with the new passive and out of combat movement speed is just like she will be all over the map all the time.
Yeah. Evelyn. I feel like I don't want to take sorcery. I feel like there may be other options for Evelyn.
I think
I
maybe
think
re-
it changes on
I think
Evelyn are
resolve.
really weird.
I think resolve will be actually quite useful, because if you can go like we were talking with the Hecarim, like unflinching and overgrowth,
Yeah.
it will be like a bunch of raw stats for you as an Evelyn that you usually don't have, and that will give you a bit more survivability. And you pair that one up with your ulti, that will actually give you like a second life, because if you go on the wrong target, you'll have enough life to stay alive while you cast your ultimate and go back to your last position. Because the only issue right now, if you go like for the Dark Harvest in the domination tree, like we are talking about with Evelyn, and you take like maybe sorcery or any other of the offensive or more offensive rune sets, if you made one little mistake, you will be dead, because you have no stats, like zero raw stats from the runes. Basically, you have just a lot of damage. So if you like try to go in and someone stuns you before you kill your target, you're useless.
I do
Yeah.
think like if you're going in Evelyn, it's really hard to try to get health because you need to go for that assassin type. You just can't go like a mixed, like an AP bruiser.
I think that I think that Resolve isn't actually providing Evelyn with stuff like that though, because I mean you can take Second Wind, but I'm actually looking at the detailed description of Second Wind, and it says healing for 4% of your missing health plus 6 over 10 seconds, which is actually not a lot. And on a champion like Evelyn, where you don't build a lot of maximum health, it's not very useful. I think conditioning could be useful in Evelyn, because after the 10-minute mark, you're entering the mid game, and the mid game is when Evelyn and other champions that are assassins that like to run around in the jungle and get picks would be very good on Evelyn, because you're getting armor and magic resist, and then if you build any defensive at all, it gets increased. And that's raw stats: 8 armor, 8 magic resist, possibly up to 20.
I was thinking about like unflinching and overgrowth, or like you said, conditioning and overgrowth, not Second Wind. Like right now, I think like we're talking about an Evelyn that you will build just like an assassin. You won't be building like anything else than just damage. So having like the scaling HP, like having the Scion passive on a champion that is just building offensive stats, it's really valuable.
I think that is, but I just don't know how many minions are going to die near you since you're in the jungle.
Yeah.
I do agree with unflinching, because unflinching is going to give you that tenacity and slow resist, which is going to allow Evelyn to get on those targets in the back line.
I do think if you're going Evelyn and you want to go with something defensive, probably Inspiration is the best option.
Yeah, let's oh, you can go ahead and you can get your stopwatch for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get
Hex Flash. I think Hex Flash Traptation
Yeah.
will be actually
Flash
quite
Traptation.
decent on Evelyn.
Flash Traption. Hextech Flash Traption. I have no idea. I don't know if it's better than Perfect Timing though.
Yeah, I
Because
think
Perfect Timing
is better.
reduces the cooldown of Zonya's, Guardian Angel, and Stone Plate by 15%. So that's actually really good on a lot of different champions.
Yeah, that will actually, if you go Inspiration, you will go like with Perfect Timing and Celestial Body, and you will be insane. Like it will, it would reduce all the danger that you have in the early 10 minutes of the game, and that's actually quite strong.
I
Otherwise,
wouldn't go Celestial Body with
you could take or enemy champions that you know. I'm trying to think of. Did you say Celestial Body?
I
Yeah.
wouldn't go Celestial
Yeah,
Body.
not on Evelyn because you're trying to get kills.
Yeah. Cosmic Insight or
Cosmic
maybe
Insight
Future's
might be
Mind.
worth.
Yeah, Cosmic Insight is just too good.
I don't
Cosmic
know.
Insight is just too good.
It's either Cosmic Insight, Approach Velocity, or Futures Market.
Yeah, probably Future's Market or Cosmic Insight, one of those.
Futures Market would actually allow you to get your jungle item a little bit faster than you're supposed to.
That's pretty good.
Which would catch a lot of people off guard because as soon as you get your AP jungle item, you're going to be bursting people because you get the new passive and the new damage, and then that on top of Dark Harvest, on top of Cheap Shot, you can definitely blow people up.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's return to one thing. Hold on. Is there anyone else that Dark Harvest may be like really good on?
I don't know.
I guess it can be like useful if you're playing like gank heavy jungler that usually don't build that much damage, because you will do like an amount of damage that the enemy usually don't expect coming from you. Like when that case when you play like a tank with Thunderlords and suddenly you kill someone because they didn't even notice that you have the Thunderlords on you, something like that. But I think the champions we already talked about are the ones that benefit the most of that specific rune.
I actually went the first time that I tried Dark Harvest. Well, I went Echo Jungle. So I don't know. I actually feel like I was really weak on the early game because I didn't have the attack speed to like really quickly clear my jungle. But after like 20 minutes, and I managed to get more CS than everyone, and I managed to get the 150 stacks. So I was just bursting people. I started leading them like in seconds. But
I guess you can go like take Dark Harvest if you're playing Nunu just for the memes.
yeah, you can do that actually. Yeah, but I do think
Did
like
you say
if
Dark
you're
Harvest
going,
Nunu?
Yeah, that sounds extremely fun to watch, dude.
but I do think like there's better things for Echo than Dark Harvest.
Like you just go Nunu and you snowball someone and the snowball hits him for like 1 billion damage. That's just fun, dude. It's like the snowball of the dead following you around.
Now this Konunu is dead because you can't buy more than one boot. So you can go Dark Harvest Nunu and steal everybody's cannon.
I actually just thought of something really silly that I forgot about. I'm moving back just for a second. Press the attack on Warwick. His ultimate just immediately approximates.
Yeah, I've seen some weird shit with Warwick.
But anyway, I did want to talk about. We were talking about Akali, Hannibal.
Yeah.
Akali.
Oh man, I love Akali.
Akali with execute, sudden impact. Because sudden impact will grant you lethality and magic pen after you fucking ult plus eyeball collection, plus
And
like,
Ravenous Hunter.
no, not even Ravenous Hunter. You don't need that. Ingenious Hunter.
Yeah,
So
because you
you
have
For
like the
Sonyas.
Gunblade.
Gunblade and Zonias
You're
all
like-
the time. And then you were also
Yeah.
talking about taking the inspiration tree, and
Yeah.
you can take perfect timing. And
In Futures Market.
yeah, you could take Futures Market. Futures Market wouldn't be bad. Cosmic Insight also not bad. Approach Velocity not bad because if you're following up teammates.
I do
Magical
think
Footwear also not bad, but it's not great.
you
either.
can actually do hected flextropation with her because you go invincible and
Oh my
invisible,
God.
and you use the hected flextropation to get away.
What
And
the fuck?
that's one hell of a bullshit.
That's I've got to quote that. That's one hell of a bullshit. That's funny as hell. Oh man. Yeah, no. Flash Drapation. Interesting.
Yeah, I think you can just like talk about the matchup that you will have in lane, and if you have like a really bad matchup, you can just take that, like the Celestial Body, and that will help you like get to the 10-minute mark when you can just go run around the map and kill everyone. Because taking 10% less damage and extra 100 health, that means that all the control mages that usually wants to like burst you by level 3 won't be able to do it. And that is pretty valuable on a champion like Akali because you have only one weak spot that is the early game. Like if you survive your early game, then you can kill everyone.
That's
And
why I like the Futures Market because you can rush your Gunblade faster.
Yeah, you can just buy it even when you don't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
But how much gold does the future market let you like borrow?
Like
Buy the-
250,
yeah.
270.
It's 5 per minute, and you're gonna get your Hextech Gunblade around 9 minutes. So it's about 200 gold that you're saving, or when you're not saving, you're actually spending it, but you're in debt.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. It
I
doesn't
guess-
matter that you're in debt.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that you're in debt. No one cares about debt.
Yeah.
Not in
Because
this
you can get even more in depth later.
game. Yeah.
It doesn't even matter, dude. It's not like there's a bad thing about being in depth because future market that's is actually like giving you gold. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good.
All right. Okay, let's try and move on to sorcery. We're spending a lot of time. So,
Yeah.
Um,
Sorcery.
We've got Airy the fairy, Arcane Comet, and Phase Rush. All right, so Anibal and I have been talking a lot about Airy and Phase Rush, but the only thing that's come up with Arcane Comet is this thing that I saw the other day when I was playing against a Karthus who took Arcane Comet. Because it was really funny because you would get cooldown reduction on your Q, and you would just spam Q in lane, and Arcane Comet would always come down, and by the time you get like reach the 15-minute mark, you're just everywhere in the mid game, like you're poking and dancing before fights. As soon as you hit someone with a Q, Arcane Comet comes down, and throws them a whole new bone. You're getting 50 plus 20% of your AP, which around that part of the game, 15-minute mark, you might have 200 AP, so you're looking at 40 plus 50. You're looking at 100 extra damage, which is basically another Thunderlords on top of your Q. But it can be dodged. So Arcane Comet, not really the best rune here, but definitely pretty funny.
I think it's pretty funny. I think it's pretty good for a RAM. But I don't know.
that's the kind of thing that would actually be really funny if you're playing someone that can point and click CC something, because you like click them to CC them and the comet just go straight to them. It's like you're watching this slow thing like flying to hit you, and you can't do shit about it. Like think about it, you're playing like Morgana and you hit someone with your Q, and they are rooted for like 3.5 years, so they see the comet coming out the way to hit you.
I think maybe if you hit it with a Q, instantly the comet will hit them, and you put the poison under them, and maybe it will last so long that another comet will hit them again.
So
Maybe I'm not sure. Probably.
I guess you could like. I mean, what do you take on Morgana? If you take Arcane Comet on Morgana, like Ultimate Hat, like I mean, I guess it's Morgana support at this point.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Not really running Morgana mid.
No.
What are you gonna take? Transcendence, Absolute Focus. Absolute Focus might be nice, actually.
Yeah, I think Absolute Focus is actually quite good because as a support Morgana, you usually start trading, and in the middle of the trade is when you actually hit someone with your Q when they are not expecting them, and by that time you should be lower than 70%.
Yeah, I don't like Airy. About Airy, Arcane Comet is. I feel like it's really good on just some really few champs.
Yeah, very specific.
Very specific champs. I think like sorcery is most useful for supports now because of the possibility and Airy the Fairy for sure.
What is this? How does Scorch work?
I do feel like Airy the Fairy ain't that good. But it's really weird. She actually procs like twice. She's like a damage per second, like a DPS.
Yeah, Airy. Your attacks and abilities send Airy to a target, damaging enemies or shielding allies. 20 to 60 based on level, 0.1 AP, 0.15 bonus AD, and the shield is 30 to 80 with 0.25 AP and 0.4 bonus AD. So the only real person who I was really thinking about Airy, and I'm sure it's probably obvious to a lot of people, Lulu. Lulu with Airy is silly. I mean, now you have Airy and Pix. And Pix, I mean, I don't know who's writing that fanfic, but Pix plus Airy. If someone can send me a fanfic, like a drawn comic, I want to see this.
Yeah, I know what you're asking for. You're asking for some Rule 34 shit.
Don't send me that shit. Pix and Airy the Fairy.
Well, I actually test Airy with Karma. Because you can poke.
That's definitely.
And I actually went magical ultimate hat with Karma, and you get like the 50 cooldown reduction in like 3 minutes. That's fucking broken.
That would be the ultimate hat would be really good on Lulu too, because you're just using that all the time.
Yeah. But it's pretty good for Karma because you get that on the laning phase and you can just spam your Qs all the time.
Yeah, and you spend your ult doesn't cost mana either on Karma.
Yeah.
Also,
and
I got a question. If you go Transcendence, and how is the ratio, like the conversion ratio for extra CDR to AP or AD?
Each percent of CDR exceeding the CDR limit is converted to an adaptive bonus of 1.2 attack damage or 2 ability power.
That's like a lot because like every support item goes with CDR, so you get like I don't know, maybe
70% CDR, so you get 30% extra CDR at 60 AP.
Yeah, I actually went Karma and it was so strong that the amount of damage that I was dealing, so I just went like full FP. I bought like Sensor and Athens and like that car. I was doing way too much damage. And the shields were too strong because of the Resolve Mastery. Yeah, the Resolve rune. I mean.
Alright, and if you're building like the Avery sorcery tree for support, do you get like the biscuit delivery? Or it's not worth it. Like I'm very curious about
it.
I maybe because if you go inspiration with support, it's good because you can go with Futures Market and the biscuits. But biscuits kinda suck.
But that's like if you think about
they give you permanent mana though.
Yeah, and it's good for Singe.
And you get like 4 biscuits till the minute 12. That's like 200 gold. It's basically the same amount that you are gaining for the futures market. Like
I actually went biscuit delivery with Bart because with Bart I went kleptomancy, and yeah, it's fucking insane because you get so much healing. You can actually proc biscuits, health potions, and mana potions and flask at the same time.
That
And
sounds like a lot of potions to be activated. It's so
yeah,
fucking
actually,
hard.
you just throw yourself into a tower and you won't die because there's so many healing going on. You
Yeah,
can get
well,
mana potions.
if you're going for the ARI and just like toying around with the tree, if you take sorcery and inspiration and go for the biscuit delivery or the futures market and get cosmic insight, you will have actually 15% CDR at level 1. That's like, holy shit, that's so much CDR. It's insane. What the hell is that? Like with Karma or with Lulu or even with Jana, like you can just spam your ability like a freaking monster. It makes no sense.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
If you
Cosmic,
take like
Cosmic
Cosmic
Insight?
Insight.
Oh, instead of biscuit delivery?
No, yeah, you go for like futures market and Cosmic Insight, or instead of futures market, you get biscuit delivery. It's just about if you want cookies or not, basically.
I do like the support being able to get a first back sightstone with futures market.
Yeah, so
Um,
you go for like futures market and Cosmic Insight, and that's actually 15% CDR at level 1.
that's insane.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, my friend. 15% CDR at level 1 is just too fucking much.
It's just
In
way too
any
much.
in any bully support, it's just way too much. You do
Yeah,
like so much for your ADC if you can just
that
spam
would
your
make me want
ability.
to take like mana flow ban though, because if you're spamming so much in lane, like you might be running out of mana. That's why
Yeah.
those biscuits are actually really good.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what why I was thinking about biscuit delivery instead of future market, because if
yeah,
like let's be real, if you're going for ARI and 15% CDR at level 1, you're going to win your lane. So why would you need futures market if you're going to get all the gold by killing your enemy?
yeah, and then
It's
you just
just
want to snowball.
yeah.
You don't want to like play the safe game.
I do think that the really strong thing about sorcery is the fact that gives you even more stats than domination. Because the runes aren't that strong. They give you some damage, but it's not like a hell of a damage. But the fact that gives you, I think, 3 or 4 more stats is pretty good. It's really, really good. If you go with any champ that can actually abuse that. Like anything that has like a 1 AP ratio or 1 AD ratio is really good. Like going sorcery and probably, let's say that you go support Zion with sorcery
Support
and
Syat?
and you wait on the bush and you hit them with the full charge Q.
Arcane
That
Comet?
and arcane comet will hit like a motherfucker.
What the fuck? Scion
Yeah.
support with Arcane Comet, level 1, full charge Q? Are you
Yeah.
taking... Oh my god, you could take like Nullifying Orb then. Nullifying Orb, Absolute Focus.
Alright, guys, like, give me a 5-minute break. Like, you guys stay here. I'm going to TeamSpeak because I got a draft for the team I'm working with right now, and I'll be back. You guys keep talking, and I'll just be back like in
Yeah,
5
sure.
or 10
Yep.
minutes. Right.
Okay. As for... Anyway, we're on Airy and Arcane Comet. Let's actually
Yeah.
let's start talking about Phase Rush.
Yeah, face rush.
Hitting an enemy champion with 3 attacks or separate abilities within 3 seconds grants 15 to 40% movement speed based on level. So it's basically Storm Eater Surge.
Yeah, basically.
So Storm Eater Surge. Storm Eater Surge on like sorcery though. Is that
What
is
I
that
do
something
feel
that you
like
wanna
is
do
really
with, like,
weak. I feel like it's really weak because in early game doesn't give you that much movement speed.
Yeah,
50%
no.
movement speed is pretty much nothing. You're useless.
I
But
feel like
if you scale, it's pretty good.
I feel like that's gonna be really good on like Rise.
Yeah, on Rise is pretty good. On Nasus is pretty good.
Um,
What I don't know.
Yeah, Rise and Nashus, and then you could take Perfect Timing on Rise and Cosmic Insight on Rise, or even Approach Velocity because your W is pretty long range. Or yeah, no, there's nothing else on Rise that you'd want to take. Cosmic Insight probably, but you don't have to take Inspiration. You could actually take anything really. Nah, maybe not Precision.
Okay.
Unless you want Coup de Grace.
Coup de Grace is pretty good.
I mean, you could take Triumph and Coup de Grace, but that seems like more snowbally solo QE. But more for like competitive. Definitely like Inspiration or Domination. Because Domination, you could definitely get Cheap Shot, and because think of how many autos, Qs, and Es you get out after you EW someone on Rise.
It's way too much damage. You can proc like maybe even 4 times. Probably would be.
Yeah, you could
Decent
definitely
number.
take Cheap Shot. That would be dumb. And then you could take like Ravenous. No, or Ingenious Hunter, because you're gonna have the Seraph's Embrace and Zonia's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would be insane. This is
Yeah.
insane on Rise. Might work on a couple other mages as well.
Yeah. Phase Rush, I see primarily on champs they can abuse that or can abuse the raw stats.
Yeah,
But I don't
stats
know.
are good. 25 ability power at level 1 or 15 attack damage.
Just a lot.
I mean, I can see how like maybe you want. Wait, what about you were saying Phase Rush on Graves, right?
Yeah, probably. Maybe. I was thinking about it. Like, if you go Phase Rush on Graves, you can proc it pretty easily.
And do you want to
But
take instead of ultimate hat, you want to take Nullifying Orb on Graves?
maybe if you're in a bad matchup against something.
It'll give you like a lot of dueling pressure. Like an extra 200 shield is like it's basically like a mini Sterox.
Yeah, you can pretty much go against any Elise, Evelyn, anything like that.
And then you can
just
take
go.
Absolute Focus for the late game.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Water Walking is not bad. Scorch isn't bad. You don't really need Gathering Storm, I don't think. I'd
No, I
probably
don't
take
think
Water Walking.
And Absolute Focus is really decent because it helps you with your clear on early game. You can do it even faster. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you can, especially on Graves because that.
I think players are really simple-minded because they say like if a champion got a really fast clear, it will always have a really fast clear, and they don't think like what happens if that champs get even a faster clear, or those are the champs that can push the limits of how fast you can clear a camp, or how fast you can clear a whole side of the jungle, and that's a really big thing because time in League of Legends is a huge deal because it won't stop. And if you have a champion that just clear everything so fast and there's no way to stop it, he will start getting your camps too, and it will fall behind.
Yeah, and with the new poacher's knife.
Yeah, this braided dirk.
Yeah, you upgrade. You can use like 3 poacher's knives per game.
Yeah,
or at least 2. And you're getting like 800 gold worth of free stats.
Yeah, and that's insane. It's just
no,
there's no way to stop it.
That would be very good. Wow. What else on Phase Rush though? What other champions?
There's a lot of champions they can proc it. I think Talia can proc it.
Wow. Actually, you know what? That would be really good on Talia, or possibly Cassiopeia.
Cassiopeia can proc it too.
Yeah, Cassiopeia will proc it really fast.
And I don't think like any other thing in sorcery is pretty good for her. And if you go domination, it ain't enough damage for her. So I think Phase Rush is probably the way to go.
Yeah, I guess you could take Phase Rush, Ultimate Hat, or you could take Mana Flow Band if you really wanted it. And then maybe Absolute Focus, but also no, not Transcendence.
Maybe Celerity. The movement speed ain't that bad.
Yeah, that would actually be really good because Cassiopeia actually has really high base movement speed at level 18.
Yeah. So it would be pretty good.
'cause he doesn't
And
hold
with
boots.
Face Rush,
Yeah, that would be really good.
It works with Face Rush
And
and
then
Gathering
you can
Storm.
and because it's better than Stormator Surge in the sense that you don't have to take a percentage of the enemy's health in order to proc it. You just need to hit 3 attacks. So Cassiopeia will then be safer in lane. It's going to be harder to gank her because she's just going to run away really quickly.
Yeah, and you can actually go with Scorch and cheese your way into level 1.
Oh my god.
Like, dude,
That's
like
funny.
it used to be. I think it will be pretty good for champions that can spam a lot of things on mid lane. Even though most of the champs are not being played a lot because of adaptive helm, but I do think they're pretty good with this rune. If they have to pick one, it's probably Face Rush for sure.
Oh my god, Cassiopeia with cheap shot.
Cassiopeia with chip shot, oh boy. Those
Because-
are like six at least.
Because when they're standing on her W, all of her fucking E's and her Q's and her autos, they'll all just do cheap shot damage.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Like,
I think that's the best definition for chip shot. It's actually a really fucking chip shot.
Oh my god. That's horrible. I don't even want to think about that. Alright, I think we've gotten through some sorcery fun stuff. We gotta keep on moving now.
Resolve.
Live forever. So we got Grasp of the Undying returning, and Grasp of the Undying now actually permanently increases your health by 5 every time you use it. So Shen top lane still takes Grasp of the Undying, and it's really good, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think Grasp is really good still. But I'm not sure. I feel like Resolve is probably the weakest of every three. I feel like Guardian ain't that good.
Wait, what if you played Scion top, Grasp of the Undying, and they used that extra
Overgrowth.
Scion, Overgrowth, and you can
Yeah,
take.
you
Oh my
can-
god, you can take Font of Life,
Yeah.
Font of Life, Conditioning, Overgrowth, Scion. That's
But I think Bond of Life is better if you're going like support.
really.
Yeah.
Because in the mid game, when Scion roams out of top lane, his ultimate and his Q are both, and his E are all gonna mark enemies. And because he's gonna have like 1,000,000 health from Overgrowth, or well, actually no, he'll still have that in the bottom lane, but he won't have it from his passive because his passive requires him to kill the minions. That's on his W.
Yeah, probably Fond of Life will be really good. Between Fond of Life and the thing that helps you taking down the towers.
Oh
Probably
yeah, Demolish. Have you seen Demolish work on health tanks?
It's just too much.
Like okay, so I was playing ADC with my friend who was playing support, and he was playing Trundle support with Demolish. I don't think he was using Grasp of the Undying. I think he was either Guardian or Aftershock.
Okay.
And I would play Caitlyn, and we would walk up to a turret, and he would demolish the turret, and I would headshot the turret, and he would have his extra attack speed and his chomp,
boy.
and we would take down a turret in like one minion wave. It was almost as fast. Like, imagine Trundle Tristana bottom lane with that. Like you could take a turret at 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
6 minutes. Take the turret. One minion wave with a cannon. And then all of the other trees give you base 130 health at level 1. Ooh, I did want to talk about Poppy.
Yeah,
Oh,
Poppy's pretty good
shit.
with Earthquake, I feel, and with Grasp too.
Earthquake.
They go Aftershock.
Aftershock. After immobilizing an enemy champion, increase your armor and magic resist by 20 plus 30% for 2.5 seconds, then deal magic damage equal to 3.5% of your maximum health plus 140. If you're in a 3,000 health carry, you're looking at like over 300 damage on
Yeah.
on that explosion.
And it's one of the runes that have the lowest cooldown to proc.
Yeah, it's
Just
got a
20
20 seconds. Wow.
I do think Aftershock is pretty good with some champs. Like, you go Aftershock with anything that doesn't use too much autos.
Oh my god,
probably.
you know how Poppy was not considered good because she didn't have side lane pressure because she couldn't push down towers very fast?
Yeah, now she can go.
Now she can go
demolish.
Now she can go demolish with Grasp of the Undying. She can take conditioning. She can take overgrowth. Not over. Wait, does she want overgrowth? Yeah,
Probably.
I'd take overgrowth, and then she can go with Celestial Body. Because remember, 100 health. Like this is a Poppy walking into lane with 700 health. That's not even counting like Doran Shield. You can walk into lane with like 800, 900 health.
Yeah.
And like you're not gonna die. Like no one's gonna be able to kill you. And then you can take you can either take Flash Strapation, Biscuit Delivery,
Futures.
Future
Or the
Market, Footwear. All four of these work for Poppy.
Yeah, everything. And no, you can even take perfect timing because you will get your gargoyle stoneblade.
Oh yeah, Gargoyle Stoneblade.
You can get it earlier.
Yeah. Wow, and that'll be really good because you're gonna use Overgrowth and Grasp of the Undying, which will give you a lot of health.
Yeah. In any case, if they manage to let's say during a bad matchup and they can dive you, you use your stopwatch.
That's actually insane. This is unfair. I think Poppy Top. I think that's S tier. I think this Poppy Top is S tier.
But Poppy with grasp or with aftershock? That's a really good question.
I think it depends on the matchup. I think if you're playing against a like tank matchup, like Shen or Sion or Maokai. And let's not forget about Maokai because he's always going to be in here with Grasp of the Undying. But you're going to want to take Grasp of the Undying because you're always going to want to trade with them. And remember, Poppy can always get Grasp of the Undying with her passive, where she has the ranged auto attack.
Yeah,
and
I do think against any tank, go with grasp, and after any other stuff like bruisers or carries or assassins, just go with aftershock. Because aftershock will pretty much melt any of them and give you extra resistance.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Guardian sucks for sure. By the way, that's just my opinion. Yeah, I think it sucks. In 45-second cooldown is just way too much for the bot lane.
45 cooldown is actually broke, especially on people who already have low cooldowns.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're just removing half of the cooldown. We forgot to talk about Lux in that. We forgot to talk about the like infamous. Not everybody's figured this out because I have not seen a single Lux in my recent games. But Lux can get like 60% CDR. Your ult's on like a 20-second cooldown, and if you kill someone with a level 3 ult, it just goes down to a 10-second cooldown. And like you just ult every 10 seconds. Like
you can clear every wave.
Yeah, you can clear every wave because waves come every 30 seconds, and oh my god, it's insane. That is absolutely busted. Damn, let me go back here. Resolve. What have we missed? What is super good with Aftershock? I think Maokai with Aftershock is definitely like.
I think it's like this. If you're a support, if you're a tank top laner, you go with grasp against other tanks. If you're against any other stuff, just go with Aftershock because the extra resistance that you get and those raw stats are really, really strong.
Yeah,
and most of the tanks can actually abuse of that.
20 armor and magic resist is huge, and that's at level 1.
Huge. Yeah, and if you go with conditioning, the conditioning works on the armor and melee resist that you already got. So that's the amount that you get even more. So probably Aftershock will be good.
Wombat's back.
Hey,
All right. We've gone over a couple
Sorcery.
things. So Wombat, while you were gone, we talked about Grasp of the Undying. And how that's really good on possibly tank top laners into other tank matchups. And we're talking about Aftershock right now, and how that's going to be good for top laners who are in bad matchups. But I think I do want to highlight this again. I'm just a huge fan of this. Poppy top lane, Grasp of the Undying, Demolish, Conditioning, Overgrowth. You take an Inspiration, Perfect Timing, Celestial Body. You enter the lane with 900 health. You get your stopwatch at 6 minutes, and no one can kill you. And you can split push towers because of Demolish.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Tell
Can
me
you,
that's
like-
not S tier.
Yeah, what did you say after like for the second rune?
Inspiration, Perfect Timing, Celestial Body.
Alright, perfect timing, celestial body. Okay. Yeah, well, that's like something that I thought about it, and I'm gonna be like real honest, real upfront with you guys right now. I think if you build like that, the strongest champion for the top lane will be Dr. Mundo, because you can just go for a warm-up as a first item. You can even skip the perfect timing and just get futures markets, so you can rush your warm-up even harder. And every time you just press R, you will be literally unkillable.
But Warmog doesn't proc if you don't have enough health to proc it. Like you need at least 700 and 200 and 750, I think. 2750 you need.
Yeah. How much does the warm-up give you, and how much can you get for Overgrowth? Like,
It
how
gives
much does
you
Overgrowth
800.
give you?
Warmogs give you 800. So
You have like 500, I think.
I think you need at least one. I think you need at least one item before getting Warmogs
Alright,
to be able to proc it.
Alright, let's make it even more annoying, and you get Visage first, and then the Warmog, and you just can't die. You won't die. Just won't die.
Yeah, I could see Dr. Mundo being good. The only thing is, I know Poppy's natural base resistances are huge, and
Yeah.
because of
The
her
amount of
shield,
damage.
Mundo thrives because he can heal everything, but I think that Mundo still can be countered by Grievous Wounds,
Yeah.
and Mortal Reminder, but Poppy cannot.
Poppy is just untouchable.
Although I do agree that if you're like on red side and you're last picking top lane and you don't see like a threatening team,
You can go Mundo.
you can go Mundo and just run over everyone. Like you can literally, you're like a lawnmower. You just get Sunfire Cape and you get your W on. You literally, let's just mow the lawn. Just go over everyone.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the main stuff that I see right now is that if you can like make sure that the enemy team won't have like 2 or 3 mortal reminders on their lineup, you can just go for it. And even if you don't go for Demolish, but you go for Fawn of Life, you want that makes you not only you immortal, but also like everyone on your team that hits someone that you put a cleaver on.
Yeah, that's fucking cancer.
Because
Mundo doesn't need Demolish because he already have a lot of damage.
So like you just run towards someone and hit it with the cleaver, and I don't know, your ADC is out attacking that people. He will be healing at the same time that he's doing damage, and you're just like keep being immortal and running around. I don't know if Fawn of Life has actually a cooldown. I don't know if that has a cooldown or how does it work. But if it doesn't, you can just cleaver someone, then cleaver someone else, and that's just a bunch of healing pots for your.
Or you can go to Tenacity Boots and go with Unflinching and Ghost on Dr. Mundo, and when you proc your Ghost, You get extra movement speed, 15 extra tenacity, plus your tenacity on your W and your tenacity on your Mercury threats, and you get like 60% tenacity.
Yeah, it's just fucking insane. And also, if the enemy team makes the huge mistake of going too heavy on physical damage or too heavy on magical damage, you can go either Iron Skin or Mirror Shell, and you are just impossible to kill because heals, including consumables, increase your magic resist by 5%. That's basically while you're walking, you have 5% more magic resist. It's just dumb.
That's not fair.
At all. Since the rework came in and they let you like try out runes on the website, I just go straight to the resolve and watch what kind of stupid shit you can do with Mundo, because he's the type of champion that has such a weird kit on him.
You can build like anything and it works.
Yeah, that he just
It's like old Poppy.
Lloyd. Yeah, so it
Old
makes
Poppy.
sense. Even so, like you can try out something like this that we are looking out for a Mundo, but you can do it like something like a Mordekaiser and just be the same impossible to kill shit that life steals of everyone and everything. It makes no sense. It's just so dumb. Like we were talking about later before the Scion with Overgrowth, you will get like, I don't know, 1 billion base HP just by standing on your lane. It just makes no sense at all.
Alright, why don't you guys start talking about Guardian, and I'll be right back in a minute.
Alright.
Okay, what I think about I don't like Guardian. I think every other rune is a lot better, even if you're a sport like Braum or Nautilus or any other thing. I feel like Guardian is not good enough.
Yeah, I think what they try to do with the rune is pretty interesting, because that will make champions like, I don't know, perhaps a Leona a lot more viable in the peeling field, because if your ADC gets caught and then you just jump in and you shield him and you guys share the damage so he won't get burst, but it's just not good enough because all the other runes are so freaking strong that it makes no sense just not taking it.
Yeah, I feel like that rune is a lose more rune, because you go into lane and you feel like you're going brown. And you can't take Aftershock because you're not in a good matchup, let's say. Or you can't take Grass because you're not in a good matchup. And you just go with Guardian because you're thinking, right, I can go with Guardian, and in that way, maybe I'm not going to die. But it's not a fact. If you're in a losing lane with any support that can go with Guardian, you will lose. You will still lose, and you will never get an actual like keystone rune, because Guardian won't be strong enough.
Yeah, and actually, if like you said, like the champion you're using as an example, if you're going Braum and you're actually a really good Braum player, you can go for something in the inspiration tree, like the
Actually, yeah.
that slows someone by 15%. Like if you put your Q on someone and you can get close enough to auto attack him, you slow him.
He's done,
he's just dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no reason like to have
Guardian.
Yeah. It's just I think it's a good idea to have a rune that can help engage supports to like peel, but that one is just not good enough because everything else is so freaking strong. Like even if you think something like an Alistar, Guardian could be good on Alistar if there's no thing like Glacial Augment or Aftershock, because that's
it's just not good enough. Yeah, everything is better.
Also, if you go Alistar and get Glacial Augment, it's just, can you think about it? Like Alistar combos you and then auto attacks you for 15% slow. You're like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna stay here and die. I don't even want to move anymore.
Yeah, I didn't know what even I was trying to do.
It's just insane. Holy shit! How can an auto attack slow you by 15%? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And I just noticed it has like no freaking cooldown. It has 7 to 4 seconds per unit. So basically you can just go around and 15% auto attack slow everyone.
Yeah, and even for Taric, because I feel for Taric is even better Aftershock, because if you get your stun and you get the extra armor, your auto attacks after the stun will do more damage, and
Yeah.
the W shield will give you even more health.
Yeah,
So
I think you only run Guardian if you are like really bad with your champion, but you still want to be useful. So
yeah,
you just walk close to people to shield them, and that's basically it.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, okay, I want support, so and I will lose, so I'll go with Guardian and don't do anything.
Yeah,
That's pretty
there's no,
much.
yeah, there's no other reason to run Guardian because everything else is so freaking strong. But then we got the interesting one, what we will all been waiting about, the inspiration tree.
Inspiration's
And
the best tree in the world, guys.
it's so
This is
funny,
the
and
most
I
fun.
want you guys like I want us to take like 2 or 3 hours just to speak about the friggin' Unsealed spellbook and what the hell is going on with that.
Gain
Oh,
a
man.
summoner shard at 2 minutes and another at every 6 minutes thereafter. While near the shop, you can exchange one summoner shard to replace a summoner spell with a different one. And additionally, your summoner spell cooldowns are reduced by 25%.
Dude,
So-
like just go with me on this. You go for Unsealed spellbook and you take like this really heavy scaling assassin, like I don't know, maybe a Kassadin, even an Akali, and you start with TP. You use 2 TP to get back to lane, you stay safe, then you hit 6, you change the shard, you get fucking Ignite or Exhaust and just go around the freaking map killing everyone, and that makes like no sense at all.
Yeah,
It's
or
just-
going like Mazahar with TP and then change it to Ghost.
Or the other way around, you actually go Malzahar and you take like Ignite so you can burst the enemy mid laner at level 6, and then you go back, you get TP and play for your team. That's insane.
But I don't know. There's a lot of champions that can go with Unsealed Spellbook because there's a lot of better options for them.
Yeah,
I
that's
think one of the few champs that can go with Unsealed Spellbook is Singe. And
it's all
probably,
basic now.
yeah, it's like weird shit. You can go weird shit with Unsealed Spellbook and make
Yeah,
it
but
work.
that's the funny thing. They made a rune that is extremely weird and you want to play, but it's not good enough to like overpower all the other options. So you just
Yeah.
you want to use it, but you know it's there and you know it's really fun. Like it's this fun thing waiting for you, but you just want to win, so you go for the try hard path instead of the
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, if you're going like Siege, if you're a Siege player, and pretty much there's no room for Siege right now. You can go with Unsealed Spellbook and do some weird shit, and nobody will be able to stop you. You go with if you waste your Ghost, you can go with Flash. If you waste your TP, you can go with Heal, and
Yeah, well, dude,
or you can go even with Smite.
Yeah,
And still,
you waste your TP and then you get exhaust and you exhaust so much a Singe that's just insta tilting when a Singe exhausts
Yeah.
you just quit the game, you quit life right away because
Yeah.
that's just it's so annoying. But
I think Glacial
Yeah.
Omen is pretty good too. Glacial Omen with melee champs is just busted, and Glacial Omen with range champions is kind of okay.
yeah, that's what we were talking about a minute ago. Like for melee supports that can actually get to auto attack because they get really close to their targets, Glacial Augment is a really viable option because it has no cooldown on multiple targets. Like it's just 4 seconds, I think. So in a team fight, you can actually go and 15% slow everyone in the enemy team. It's just way too much.
I also there's this thing with Unsealed Spellbook where you get a shard every 6 minutes, but you can hold your first shard. So if you were playing jungle and you took the dragon and then you went back and you said, "All right, dragon's gone. I don't need smite for the next 6 minutes of the game."
I think it's my.
And then you can go back and then get smite back before the dragon spawns again.
Yeah, that sounds pretty broken
Awesome.
because like if you're playing like an
assassin.
but not a regular assassin, like this type of assassin that you usually don't see that much gameplay, and you just like swap your smite for ignite, and that becomes like the surprise factor is just so big. It's just so like, what the fuck? This dude has ignite. Like the jungler just ignited me. I didn't see that one coming. It's just so much fun to have. Like so much fun to have.
And I love kleptomancy. Kleptomancy is probably my favorite rune of this page.
I was talking with Anibal earlier. Wombat, have you seen kleptomancy Ezreal bot lane?
That sounds pretty weird. Like
or Ezreal mid lane, like just kleptomancy on Ezreal in lane.
Just like, kleptomancy and play him. Just go whatever.
I'm actually I'm a bard player. I love playing bard, and going bard with kleptomancy is just insane. Insane. You can forget all the time. It's really easy, and you will never lose a trade because you get a shit ton of potions. If you don't have enough potions, you go with the biscuits. So you have biscuits and potions and mana potions and crystal flask.
All right, if we're doing Ezreal, we will go like kleptomancy, perfect timing, futures market, approach velocity, and then get domination.
Probably.
Maybe. Because you can go sudden impact and either eyeball collection or anything else that you want. I guess eyeball collection is the best one. And that's like a really, really annoying Ezreal because the fact is that Ezreal scales really hard in the mid game, and if you're like just generating excess of gold, it's just insane. Like if you get kleptomancy and futures market, how fast can you get like your first item if you're playing Ezreal jungle to just go around and kill everyone?
And what about Hextech Flash Trapation on Ezreal jungle? So like say for a second I'm on red side and I'm Ezreal jungle, and my red plant is down, and I want to gank bottom lane, and my flash is down, but they have the river bush warded, so this is warded, and so you I just flash Trapation over the wall, and then I can E into lane.
Yeah, you can go Glacial Augment with Hextech Flash Trapation.
Oh my god.
And you won't need red to
and Cosmic Insight too.
Have you guys noticed that every time Riot change something, Ezreal becomes broken?
Yeah.
I think there's something about the champion that just like. Do you guys remember when the first like AP jungler items changed and everyone was just playing Ezreal mid and one-shotting people? Such a balanced champion. Like you change something and Ezreal suddenly becomes broken again. It makes.
Yeah, it's kind of how like Corki rolls around every now and then too.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, if you run Corki with this same run set, that sounds pretty annoying too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as annoying as an Ezreal, but it will still be really annoying.
I just think it's really funny because you can take Ultimate Hat on Ezreal, and you're just always queuing, so your Ultimate Hat gives you... Yeah. And like with that and Cosmic Insight, like... I guess you can take Transcendence too. Like, how low a cooldown can your Ezreal ultimate be on? Yeah, and can you be in the jungle while this happens?
I was thinking about it, and I came up with something. Like, if you're a really extremely, insanely good LeBlanc player, you can go with this and just have endless cooldowns, so you can just play like the old LeBlanc, where you just keep comboing whatever was in front of you to make them low so they cannot sustain their defense. And if you're playing LeBlanc and you get kleptomancy, you just generate so much gold to rush your first item with the...
Oh yeah, because you always auto. You just always. Yeah. And you're always jumping on top of people with your W.
Yeah, that sounds pretty not cool, because also you can just go for perfect... You can take perfect timing, and that's like, yeah, well, you think you were going to kill me, but now you won, and I can just keep jumping away from you. It doesn't make sense, dude. It's not fair.
Yeah, it isn't very fair, but it's very funny.
Yeah, it's very funny.
on a more serious note, kleptomancy not really... I'm not sure how competitively viable kleptomancy is.
I think it will be like this kind of thing that people just spam in solo queue because they know how to take advantage of it, but it's not really worth for competitive because it's so based on the enemy not knowing what to do around you. Like, have you ever been on that kind of game where suddenly you see the enemy jungler and the dude is like level 7 and your jungler is like level 2 and you're like, what the hell just happened? And how this dude
Yeah,
is so
but
fucking high.
I think Kleptomancy is decent in competitive because just in some cases, because if the enemy team picks the support earlier than you can go with Kleptomancy on any range support and abuse Kleptomancy.
Yeah, you can just generate all that gold, but it's like it's the same issue we were talking about. It's defining what you wanna do even before the game starts. Because if you wanna go for the kleptomancy, it means you need to not only abuse the gold generation but win the game early. Because if the game doesn't finish early, all that gold that you generated is worthless now, and probably the enemy support that has the summon Avery or that has the aftershock is just gonna outvalue you. So it's just like taking into account everything that you wanna do in the game in in that moment when you're making your rune set, and just like, okay, I'm going for kleptomancy because I'm gonna beat your ass off before 10 minutes, and that's gonna be like what I want to do. It's just so. I mean, the thing that Riot told us with all the changes in the runes is that you will be able to like create your playstyle since before the game even starts, and it's actually quite true because there's a lot of decision making going on before you like pick your rune set, and that actually affects everything that it's going to outcome in the game. It's just insane and actually quite fun.
Yeah,
The
I think the game is fun again. They always manage to make the game fun.
The only issue I see right now with the runes is that I think they're way too complicated for new players. I mean,
this is beyond comprehensible for someone who is not who doesn't play MOBAs.
Yeah, I mean, like even some pro players that, because we all have like that player that just is good mechanically but doesn't really study the game. Now they have to because they have no choice. It's like I've seen like what even if you go right now into pro builds and you just check what people is playing lately, you can see someone play like 5 matches of the same champion and try out 5 different rune sets because he has no idea what could work with the champion or what works best with the champion. And I think that's actually quite fun, like you say, for players like us or for players that have MOBA experience or even League of Legends experience. But for new players or casual players, this is just gonna be like, well, it's the general reaction of people when the rune sets kicks in, that everyone was like, yeah, no, everything is OP. And it's like, it's not like everything is OP per se. It's actually that there's a lot of things that you don't understand about what is doing that thing that to be OP basically.
Yeah. I feel like people just will complain because they don't understand what is happening.
Yeah, but I mean, it's for the people that actually it's going to take the time to
for competitive
study the rune sets. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that like give it like a week and there's gonna be someone in Korea playing something like extremely weird that doesn't seem to make any sense, and that shit's gonna be broken as fuck, and Riot is going to nerf it. Because
like jungle,
something
like that.
Yeah, some shit like that. Like, well, the same example we were using when people started to play the mid lane Ezreal with a bunch of AP. Like, it didn't make any fucking sense. But when you take a look at it in the deep, it's just plain broken.
Well, yeah, Ezreal AP is actually still viable. Remember that his Q has a point 0.4 now AP scaling ratio. His W's got a 0.7. His E's got a 0.75, and his ultimate has a 0.95, which actually means that, and that's very standard because all of his abilities are skill shots and 2 of them are single target. So Ezra has always been potent as an AP carry. It's just that competitive has shied away from him for the same reason that they shy away from Xerath and Ziggs and Lux, because of the amount of skill shots and because of the amount of concentration required to successfully play and execute.
To pull it off.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like right now, and especially with all the adaptation going on into rune sets, that type of champions, like we were talking about, the champions that benefit from both scaling AD and AP, it's gonna be really or like really strong or really weird. Like you have to play a bunch of games and try it out and see how actually affects, because the adaptative stats that you're getting, you're not picking it. It's just like the game is choosing them for you. Like,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna give you this amount of AP or this amount of AD, and you go have fun with it. And it's really weird. Like, it's gonna be a lot of math going around what it's actually worth and stuff like you said, Cyrus. That like the APS rare could be viable again because there's a bunch of runes that just scale so hard with AP and all the adapt. If the math behind the adaptative damage with Ezreal checks out, it can actually makes him so much playable or even broken because it's just insane. There's gonna be a lot of fun going around. Like right now, Annie is one of the most broken mid lanes mages, and that's really funny to me. Let's all play Annie in the mid lane. I'm not sure, but I think no one ever played Annie on the mid lane in a competitive scene.
Oh man, that'd be crazy.
That would be
Something like
really funny. But it's just that right now everything is like
and the best thing about inspiration is that if you mix it with any other thing, you get even more stats.
yeah
Inspiration plus resolve give you 15 more health, plus the potions and elixir duration. And with sorcery and domination gives you more AD or AP. And
yeah
that's pretty good.
yeah. Look at like this kind of stuff. If you think about it, if you're playing a Tamkench and you go for a glacial augment, you
Oh my
basically
god.
you basically stun someone with just locking to them because
Yeah.
your Q slow them for like 1,000,000,000%, and then your next auto attack slow them up 70% more. It is
Yeah.
Do you take biscuit delivery with that?
of course, man. All the free
We
cookies. Why wouldn't one?
Biscuit delivery with Kench.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. I think biscuit delivery is the best because flash transportation it's decent, but and the perfect timing is not really that much worth on
Do you
Tamken.
take
You
future
can take-
market or do you take magical footwear? I think
Nah.
I think footwear or Fisher's Market. I don't know.
Now I think you go for market. It's the same thing we were talking about before. Like if you wanna like explore
Oh my
the fact
God.
that you're making gold, you just go for market.
I think perfect timing is bad. It's not that good, but it's kind of decent because you can go with Gargoyle Stormblade earlier.
Should you go Celestial Body XD? Because more health actually gives Tom Kench more damage.
Yeah.
Dude,
So like it doesn't it kind of counteracts itself.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. You can be so oppressive with a champion that shouldn't be that oppressive.
Or
And
approach
also-
velocity.
Approach
can go-
velocity with Kench is probably really good.
Actually, yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
probably the best.
I think approach velocity, and you get resolve as your second rune. That's 20% potion and elixir duration for your biscuit delivery, and 145 extra health. So if you go with that, and also get like font of life for your ADC, you just go and lick someone, and then auto attack them, and your ADC will be healing from them every time he auto attacks them. And then you can just go for whatever. Like the second rune you get it's pointless. It doesn't matter. You're already too strong.
Do you really take Font of Life or do you want Demolish?
I want Demolish. I like Demolish
Like
more.
even unflinching is good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like in the resolve
Yeah.
tree, all three of these are amazing.
Yeah, they are just too
Um,
good.
I think Demolish just for the split push
Yeah,
pressure.
if you're gonna go top lane,
Yeah.
Kench, then Demolish definitely.
And Tam
Um,
Kench top lane is a thing.
Or actually, even
He's
like
a
wait,
fucking king.
wait. Tom Kench support. If you take Demolish and you play with Tristana, like we were talking about
That's
earlier.
pretty good. That's
We're-
pretty good.
Yeah. Then you could take. I mean, there's conditioning. There's overgrowth. Not bad.
Yeah.
Conditioning or overgrowth, both are good. So that I would probably have to do some math before I decided which one of those was better. I can't really eyeball it.
Yeah. I think probably
Also,
between Overgrowth and Second Wind and Support, I would prefer maybe Second Wind.
That's what I was about to say. Like, I want to see the math behind second win, because if you can second win and just not proc your gray health, that will be like really strong. That will be like a lot of regen for you, not like never using your E. That was something that in the beginning was really strong about Tankhems, that you just keep your E on cooldown, like never cast it, so you can just re-heal,
Yeah, you
regen a bunch of
really that.
HP. That will be interesting. There's like we said, there's going to be a lot of math going around, because a lot of things can be really good or can be really bad. I don't know, man. It's just gonna be so fun. It's just gonna be so fun. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be like playing a rank game and going top lane, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm just gonna play Renekton because it's really strong. And someone that watched this video is gonna go like, yeah, I'm gonna play Tamkench and just make your life miserable, and it's gonna be really, really sad, man.
We you know what we haven't talked about? We've missed two champions that are probably like mega broken right now. Orn
with
and
Air Chunk.
Shogoth.
Orn is scaling HP.
Oh my god. Like Shogoth with Overgrowth and Gargoyle Stoneplate, like are we really letting this happen right now?
Alright, wait a minute. You can actually go with Cho'Gath, and you don't even need to like take the result tree, because you can get the Overgrown, but you can get the Overgrown and don't really need like the entire tree. You can go for Demolish and the Overgrow, and just like if you get Glacial Augment in Cho'Gath, you walk towards someone and your auto attack literally stuns them, because you do like 120% slow.
Slow scale multiplicatively.
Yeah.
It's a percentage on a percentage.
Yeah.
But
it will be like 60%.
I don't know. I kind of want to take the resolve tree on Cho'Gath, because Grasp
of
Grasp. Grasp of the Undying would be really good.
Really strong. Yeah, you go for like Grasp and Demolish, and then Conditioning.
Yeah, for the Demolish for the split push, or Unflinching, and then Conditioning definitely, because you're a health tank, and then you take.
I think the only good thing of going Glacial Element with Cho'Gath will be the fact that you can go Perfect Timing and Futures Market and rush every item really quickly.
Yeah, you get Gargoyle Stoneplate, and you just go Righteous Glory, Gargoyle Stoneplate, you just win.
Yeah, and you will get them like in 20 minutes.
Alright, so now I got a question, like a really deep question. If you're going into the resolve tree and you get the precision, will you guys go for Overheal or for Triumph?
Because resolve tree and precision.
Because if you're at Cho'Gath and you get to build the Warmogs, you're going to like excess healing.
Okay, wait.
Shield.
But I know that you get overhealing on Cho'Gath because of his passive. But, like, what about everything we just said on Maokai and you take overheal? Maokai literally, like, gets a fucking Malphite shield on top of him as soon as he jumps into a fight.
Yeah, it's just not fair, dude, because you can go, like, overheal, then you take Tenacity, so you don't have to build, like, Mercs, and you can just go for CDR boots, so you have your cooldowns back every single time. It's just really, really annoying, man. Like, extremely annoying.
Yeah. I think it's pretty good.
I think it's pretty broken.
Yeah, and then you take Legend Tenacity. And you still get plus 130 health.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's so much. Like,
I mean, that's just at level 1. You're still walking into lane with fucking 700 health almost.
That doesn't seem fair, man.
You know, not as funny as the level 900 or the level 1 900 health Poppy, but it's still broken.
Yeah,
still broken.
I think the only issue with Poppy right now, it will be the fact that she has such a difficult time with another top laners, like range top laners, that all the other like Maokai or Cho'Gath have a little bit of a better timing with that kind of matchup. And right now, like, think about it. You're like this cute little Poppy just walking around with your a billion HP at level 1, and you're going like against a cannon with press the attack, or a Jace with press the attack, or basically anything with range and press the attack, and
Oh no,
your
you
life is gonna be
definitely
so sad.
Poppy always loses the early game though.
Yeah.
You're not actually expecting to win. But I don't, and I would not pick Poppy into Jace. I wouldn't pick Poppy into Jace. That just
No, that's
you're just-
suicidal.
yeah. But like picking Poppy even into like
Anytime.
Bruiser's matchups, like even into
Yeah.
like Renekton or
Yeah, into Bruiser seems like fine, but you have to like that, and that's the issue we were talking about earlier. You have to like save your last pick to last pick Poppy. That sounds so wrong, dude. That sounds extremely wrong.
No, that's been done before in LCS.
Yeah.
Oh, with new Poppy.
Because she was broken AF.
She's always been broken. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I think she's pretty
champion's
good. I think
always
she's pretty broken.
I don't know.
She's
man.
got too much damage and she just
It-
moves people out of a fight, and she's
Seems so
infinitely
weird.
tanky. And now
Hey,
with
guys.
Demolish,
There,
she can
there's
split push.
something. There's a champion, a special champion that I want us to take a couple of minutes to talk about, because there's a lot of weird things that can happen with him. Have you ever take a second to think about what's the best to play if you're playing Ivern?
I had an Ivern in one of my games the other day, and I was like, "What the fuck is this guy doing? Like, on what grounds do you think that Ivern jungle is gonna work right now?" And I mean, he basically fed every lane, and the enemy jungler, and the enemy jungler just invaded him like 100% of the time. It was like I lost an inhibitor at 9 minutes. It was
Right.
the saddest game that I've ever played. But like, I don't even remember what he took. I think it was like Guardian or something.
I would
That's
probably
like-
go Aftershock, I guess.
Aftershock wouldn't be bad.
Like Aftershock, Font of
But-
Life, and
No,
Revitalize.
I think
What
he's
is-
like.
What
What
if,
about Unsealed Spellbook?
dude? What if you
Probably.
think about it? You already drafted your ADC. You pick Lulu, and then you get Ivern, and you pick Aerie. That's basically the stuff that you will
Two
be giving to
Aries.
your ADC.
Two Aries on the same. All right. Lulu and Ivern with double Airy, and Ivern can take Ultimate Hat for Daisy.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Or he can take Nullifying Orb to be a tank. Either or. I wouldn't take Absolute Focus, but
Celerity.
Celerity.
You just go Transcendence. Dude, it's like
Trans-
10% CDR at
Yeah.
level 1.
No, at level
That's
10.
Level 10, level 10.
That
Yeah.
basically means that by the time you hit level 10, you already had 40% CDR to just spam shields on your carry.
Yeah. Do you just get, I guess you get Water Walking then.
I think Water Walking is the best.
What else would you take? Do you take Inspiration and you go into, I guess you could go into Flash Trapation or...
Oh my god.
I think you just can go perfect timing and futures market and just have a bunch of gold really quick in the game, so you can just make your ADC an unkillable machine of pain. Like, think about it. You pick Lulu, you pick Ivern with this build, and you pick a freaking Cogmal.
I
Yeah.
go Futures Market and probably Cosmic Insight, or
Yeah.
Futures Market and Celestial Body, because Ivern doesn't do damage.
And Kog'Maw with Lethal Tempo right now is, like, insane.
It's decent, but because his
Yeah.
laning phase ain't that good.
Yeah, no, you lose laning phase, but if you
Yeah.
run, like...
If you manage
Yeah,
to don't lose the game in
wait.
20 minutes, you can win.
But
Yeah.
but you won't lose lane phase if you actually manage to pick Lulu into a winnable matchup, because
Or-
Lulu can win the lane by herself right now.
Let's not forget about Nami, though.
Yeah, Nami's
but-
pretty good too.
Yeah, but Nami doesn't put the picks on the ADC. Remember?
she doesn't.
The main thing, dude, is right now have your ADC with the picks and two Ares auto attacking for him.
Yeah.
But
no, that's
I do
pretty
think
fancy.
that Cosmo to work needs to change his build. Sure. because he's going against teams that are building heavy crit and flat AD in the moment that the game starts.
I,
And
I
he's
think I think you just go for the old what it was called, like the Juggernaut build that you build Phantom
Yeah.
Dancer and maybe Triforce or IE right away, and that you just don't die and just auto attack like a fucking insane machine.
yeah, probably Triforce will be really, really good.
Because right now,
What's your
like
secondary tree?
On what? With Kog'Maw
Yeah,
or with Ivern?
with Kog'Maw.
With Kog'Maw, I would go for sure Inspiration for the
Yeah.
money. Futures Market and Cosmic Insight, or Futures Market and something else.
also,
Probably the potions, maybe,
like,
I don't know.
think about it. If you go Kog'Maw with little tempo and did you get Triumph, basically you just run towards someone and you kill it and you get 15% of your health back.
I don't know how I feel about Triumph on Kog'Maw because you're not really
No.
being aggressive.
I think the
Like,
Triumph is for
is, like,
Draven.
yeah, Triumph is definitely for someone who's going to be like tower diving or like really abusing that. Like I was talking earlier about Aurelia one with Triumph.
Yeah, Irelia with Little Tempo and Triumph.
Or someone, or even Jace. Like,
Will you go? But like going overheal. Well, overheal sounds fun because you have like a billion shields on you, so you can have like basically 2 health bars with just shield.
Gathering Storm with Irons probably good, I guess. Or Water Walking. Yeah, I'm not sure. Water Walking, I guess. The Iron.
Dude, we gotta try that out. Like pick Lulu, Kog'Maw, and Ivern, and just like have fun with it.
flex.
It sounds like so annoying. Like you can just be extremely like a bad person, like a really bad people, and pick something like a Karma mid lane, and that just let Kog'Maw go and kill everyone in the team. Just like, yeah, we're gonna shield you, and you're gonna kill everyone forever.
Yeah.
It's just really fun. The new rune sets are gonna let everything be so fun. I'm really happy with it.
All right, we are 2 hours and 20 minutes in, so we're gonna have to
Close this one out.
Yeah. Any final remarks? Did we miss anything?
I don't know.
Probably.
We definitely missed a couple things.
Yeah, of course.
We definitely missed a couple.
There's too many champs to know.
Right now I'm just looking at every champion and thinking what's gonna be really fun with like any champions you're playing. Like I don't know, it's gonna be really memey stuff. Like you can go Aurelion Sol and take the Comet because you know you're a Comet and it's gonna be really fun. But I don't know, man. There's gonna be so much going around. Like I'm pretty sure somehow G is gonna be broken, but I'm not quite sure with what yet. I know he's gonna be broken, but I'm not sure with what rune set. But it's
There's a
gonna
lot
be
of stuff that he can go with.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a lot of testing around and checking what people is doing and trying out your own stuff. But definitely, it's gonna be real fun.
I think probably press the attack, because if you hit somebody with your W, somebody with your auto attacks on range, and then you transform to the hammer, it will deal more damage. So that's
Also,
probably the best.
There's one more champion that I think it would be worth like keep an eye on is Queen, because there's a lot of possible outcomes for Queen to be really annoying right now, like really annoying.
Oh boy! Oh no! Queen.
Yeah, that's gonna be really fun to watch. That's all I want to say.
Queen is a nightmare, man.
Like just think about it, like a jungle queen that goes with Dark Harvest and just go fly with you, and just creates you for like 1 billion with 1 auto attack. That sounds fun. Let's do that.
Oh boy.
I'm shocked. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Quinn and Scrims. Oh my god. Fucking Wombat.
Sorry,
oh
man.
My god. No, I'm ready for it. CLS is gonna be great.
Yeah.
We're
like there's so much weird stuff that it's gonna like. Think about it.
There's too
Even
many
Nocturne.
possibilities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you play Nocturne with the same thing, you just came out of
oh
nowhere
my
and
god.
give someone that one auto attack that hits them for like 1,000,000,000 damage.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome, man. So
Yeah,
awesome.
no, 150 soul essence, fucking Nocturne with your bonus AD because of your Q. Like, you're definitely like 300 damage plus 300 base damage on your ultimate. Like, at level 6, you actually one-hit someone. That's, like, not even a joke.
Yeah, and you can go for like the old Nocturne where you build Triforce, so even you hit even harder with the on-hit effect. It's gonna be really fun. I can't wait.
Oh my god. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and conclude it here. But thank you to everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow myself and my friends here, Anibal and Wombat. I don't know if you guys... I know you guys have Twitter or something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'll give you later.
They'll find it. I'll put it in the video's description, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but it was a wonderful time. If anybody has any questions, don't forget to leave a comment, or you can email me. And I'm still open to do coaching sessions that you can request by email. So thank you very much, and everybody have a wonderful day.